This one's wife. Pay to play to overshadow. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. Why would you involve this one's wife in something that you are hosting or doing? Well, most sensible people have formed the view that you wouldn't want anything to do with her by virtue of the fact that she is unpopular, but also as a consequence of the fact that her involvement is likely to lead to her hogging the limelight, making it all about her, detracting from your cause or event, as she repeatedly fights to make it all about her. She attracts ridicule and derision. Yet there are still those that would involve her. Why? Well, some do so because it suits their agenda to have her involved. They want to portray a particular image, and therefore they harness this one's wife as part of that agenda. In essence, they are using her. In some instances, an individual will involve this one's wife because they are in her paid employment, and as a consequence of that, they see that there is a gain to be obtained by virtue of continued involvement with this one's wife, even if they need to hold their nose in their dealings with her. There are others who think to themselves, we know that she's useless, we know that she's mocked, but she still generates lots of publicity. And, as the old saying goes, there's no such thing as bad publicity. And therefore, by having involvement with her, our brand will be known about. It doesn't matter that what she produces is rubbish, because we'll just point out that's her and not us. We're not asking her to be a brand ambassador, we're just hosting her on this particular platform. And she'll bring lots of eyes to our platform, so let's involve her. And then finally, there are those that will involve her because, quite simply, she has paid them to be involved. We have seen this previously, whereby this one's wife, as a consequence of her ill-gotten gains, which are a residual benefit, utilises this financial firepower, albeit it is on the wane, to purchase awards, purchase attendance at events, in order to make it seem as if she is successful. This primarily has arisen with regard to the purchase of awards, which she has engaged in order to make it seem like there are various organisations around the world that truly think that she is a wonderful person, a pioneering feminist, an advocate for others, a philanthropist and bananitarian. She, caught up in her own delusion, wants other people to look upon her and think, yes, she is brilliant. Look, she's got an award for writing on bananas. She must truly be a talented individual. Wow, look at this. She's got an award for speaking out about something. That must mean that what she says is terribly important. But we know that most people would only tolerate this one's wife at an awards ceremony if she's actually paying for the award and she brings some attendant publicity. And she's at it again. She regularly engages in pay to play, and as reported by Erin Hill in the supine publication that is People, this one's wife to be honoured at LA's Natural History Museum Gala. This one's wife's next Los Angeles appearance has been revealed. People can exclusively reveal that the Duchess of Sussex is set to be honoured at the Natural History Museums of Los Angeles County's upcoming Night of Wonder Gala on June the 14th. Keep that date in your mind, good people. We'll return to it shortly. The garden-inspired evening at NHM's Exposition Park location will include remarks from this one's wife, oh, the anticipation, who's being recognised for her work championing women and undeserved communities, a mission that mirrors the museum's push to make science and nature more accessible across LA. Well, colour me surprised, but I can't recall the last occasion that this one's wife championed science in any way. I suppose that there might be an argument that she might take something shit and try and polish it. Perhaps there's some science in that, one wonders. Or perhaps there's a science of understanding how a D-list mediocre actress who is talent-free and charisma-free has managed to bugger up opportunity after opportunity that has been put her way. Oh, we already know the answer to that, and it's nothing to do with what she's told us. It's as a consequence of her narcissism, explained to you courtesy of your glorious narrator. But I can't recall any instance of this one's wife championing science or nature, or women in science, or women in nature. The only woman in nature that we ever see is when she's lurking amongst the bushes in her garden, telling us about the next crappy scheme that she's launching. But according to the blurb, Night of Wonder celebrates and supports the natural history museums of Los Angeles County's commitment to science, nature, and community, said Lori Betterson Varga, president and director of the Natural History Museums of Los Angeles County. We are proud to honour this one's wife, Duchess of Sussex, a native Angelino, whose work to advance community well-being and expand opportunity, especially for undeserved communities, aligns with our equity-focused approach to developing science literacy for the next generation, including through our STEM and STEAM pathways programs. I see. So basically, because this one's wife has set up a charity that occasionally hands out nutrition bars to people by the side of the road, that this means that she's comparable to the advancement of STEM and STEAM pathways programs and to develop science literacy for the next generation. Well, if you say so. Apparently, the gala will evoke the feeling of an enchanted garden at night, so expect a possibility of Harry being slumped over the compost heap, spliffed out of his tiny mind, and apparently they're going to be immersive exhibits. Presumably, they aren't talking about falling into the yawning chasm that is between the legs of this one's wife. There's going to be live music and dinner served in the museum's north garden. Well, there we are. So that's the next thing that she's going to turn up at, which will undoubtedly provide your glorious narrator with an opportunity to have a good old laugh at what she talks about and what she does. And we will see the usual staring at the camera, and if Harry's there, gripping him, prodding him, but he might not turn up, and we'll see all of the usual behaviours that we've become fully accustomed to seeing, so there's not going to be anything new. Nevertheless, we will see the consistency of her narcissism on display as it pursues the prime aims. But her attendance at this, which is undoubtedly as a consequence of pay-to-play, after all, why on earth would you bother with this woman, and the fact of what she purportedly does in the community, is a real reach when it comes to the aims of the relevant charity that's been mentioned. So it's clear that she's bunged some money that way for the purpose of saying, can I come and make me look good, please? But also, it takes place on June the 14th, which just so happens to be the date of Trooping the Colour. Ah! The plot thins. Once again, this one's wife needs to overshadow an event involving the royal family, because while she didn't want to remain part of it, she cannot help but remain obsessed with seeing what it's doing for the purposes of attempting to overshadow them by drawing attention onto herself. She cannot stand the fact that something takes place involving the royal family and not her. This shows the hypocrisy of the narcissist to a T. She doesn't want to be involved with the royal family, but she still has to try and overshadow them. She doesn't want to be part of the royal family, but still watches what they're doing. And it gets to her when they receive focus and attention because it's not on her. A normal person would simply go, well, I'm not bothered about it because I didn't want to be part of it, so I'm not going to get my panties in a twist about it. But this one's wife does, because she's a hypocrite. She doesn't want to be involved in it and ran away from it, but she still has to look at it because any focus upon it is not upon her, and that gets to her. It's also the case that this attendance is demonstrative of her obsession with the relation to Catherine, Princess of Wales, because guess who's a patron of London Natural History Museum? Ah, yes, Catherine, Princess of Wales. So anything you can do, Catherine, I can do too, declares this one's wife, because she's going to be honoured by Los Angeles Natural History Museum. You are a patron of the London one. I'm being honoured by the Los Angeles one. Well, there we are. Once again, the motives of this one's wife, underpinned by her narcissism, become totally clear. She needs to pay to play to begin with, because why else would you involve her? The link is spurious, it's being done to overshadow trooping the colour, and is part of her obsession in relation to Catherine, Princess of Wales, whereby she needs to have, or try to have, everything that Catherine has. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.